What is up, guys? JD here. Hope you're doing well today. We're going to be comparing my new P365 XMacro to my Shield Plus. Let's jump into it. All right, guys. So I literally just picked this up, and before I throw the optic on it or anything like that, I just wanted to take a moment to kind of compare it to my long-standing, probably about a year. I think a year straight now I've carried this particular Shield Plus. So I did make a boo-boo, and I actually did not keep the original slide on there for this video, and you will see me shooting it with the original slide in some of the B-roll footage that I'm going to show to you. But I kind of wanted to talk about some of the differences, what I like about each one versus the other, some of the cons that I think about these particular two. So I think they compare size-wise very well. I will say you have a little bit of a shorter barrel on the OG slide, or the original slide for the Shield Plus. Oh, that was my fault. And with the Performance Center version, the comped out version, a little bit of a longer slide. So it might have been a better comparison, but I wanted to have one non-comp and one comped version for my CCW. So you can kind of see here the length that the compensator on the Shield Plus brings, where it extends out to have that in front of that front night sight. The other thing that I think I really like about this is this does feel lighter. You know, I haven't actually weighed it, so let's see. I know that the optic is going to throw this off a little bit, but let's see if it was even within a few ounces. All right, so the Shield Plus by itself with no mag, no ammo, 1 pound, 3.2 ounces. Shield Plus, 1 pound, 4.1. So actually, without the optic, it might be a little bit closer than what I was thinking. For some reason, I thought this was feeling a little bit heavier, but that may have just been the placebo effect. I don't know that I would necessarily feel the difference. They approach things very differently. So first, I do wish that they would have brought the slide all the way up for the press check. Not that it's a big deal, but for that press check, I am having to remember to grab the full barrel and take a look at what's down in there. Now, in the back of the, standard, because I think there's a couple of different options out there for, there's a ton of different 365s, but for the XMacro, I think there's a couple different ones. They're plenty grippy. I'm able to get a hold of them, no issues whatsoever. I love the sights. So one thing that I noticed about the sights when I was shooting with the 365, I was able to find the dots and line them up against the rear, even though they call them the night sights. It's still blacked out enough to where that high vis sight, I was really able to pick that up, and I was able to get a very nice grouping, very controlled, very repeatable, in my opinion. With the stock slide on the Shield, it had the 3 circles. And I think my mistake, one, was I hadn't shot on those sights in a while. 2, I went with the P365 XMacro first, and I think I probably should have gone with the Shield first, because I wanted to use that dot, and having the 3 dot was actually messing me up a little bit, I noticed, when I was trying to track. So I feel like it's not an apples to apples comparison, because I think I would have done better taking the optic off of this one and trying to use these sights here that are on the comp, but I worried about the accuracy with the compensator. I don't know if it would have been as accurate as the non-comp. So I was trying to do apples to apples, but I think the sights, I really feel like, is what messed me up, because when I slowed down and took my time, I was able to get a better grouping, but I still found that I was trying to really quickly adjust by closing the left to make sure I was lining up correctly. I don't know if that's because I'm wearing glasses or what's going on with it, but I did notice a little bit of a difference. Love the serrations on the Performance Center. On my OG, it just has the ones that are down here. So I think that the front slides on the basic versus the basic, or the standard versions of these, I think are a little bit better on the P365. On the Performance Center version, though, I give it totally to these really good serrations that are on this slide. They're very nice, easy to get a hold of. I love that they carry over to the top because I can catch the webbing. So I'm able to get a really nice purchase on there for that. The other thing too, I feel like the slides in the back, I would probably give them a tie for the pullback to cock and load. They both feel really well done. I think these might be just a touch sharper on the P365 XMacro than they are on the Shield. So I do like that about that. Now they take a very different approach, and I haven't really busted out the large backstrap yet. I think that's the next thing I need to do when I go to the range to shoot. I don't know why though, because I feel like my accuracy was really good. I feel like my grip was good. I felt secure in my grip and my purchase on the grip itself. So I don't know if it's because with the shield's a little bit of a thinner side to side, but a little bit of a thicker front to back. So this one here, I'm able to, just to kind of show you where my fingers kind of stop on this one, I'm able to get that same type of grip because of the overall width on this one, whereas the SIG's not quite as wide with the medium, but because there is that girth, I am kind of wrapping the knuckles around. So let me do left hand and right hand. Maybe I can kind of show you what's happening. So here, the Smith is landing in the knuckles a little bit better. This one here, I am knuckles and a little bit of the meat in front of and back. So I think with the medium, I like that particular purchase. I don't feel the need to really change that out. The two big things I think for me, if you're going, standard Shield Plus versus P365, is I do really like the trigger and trigger reset on the Shield Plus more. So let me get these in here so I can demonstrate. I'm still struggling a little bit after fire with the P365. I think the spring is a little bit more manageable on the Shield Plus for me. All right, so just to kind of show you a couple times. So this is all take up. There's the wall. I can feel hitting that wall right there. So that is all take up. And then there's not much travel after that. Yeah, I wasn't worried about that. Let me show you the reset and I'll put it back in there. So that is all reset. So one more time. I'm trying to get it to where I can press check it. I'm still learning this one, so I apologize. So that is all take up. And then, okay, there we go. Ah, got caught. All right, I can do it on the Shield a little bit easier, and I think this is where you also see where I think the spring is more manageable on the Shield for me. So I feel like it's less take up. That's the wall. Yeah, I feel like it's a lot less. There it is right there. I feel like the overall trigger feel, the weight, the reset of it is just really good. Very audible on this one. Let me see if I can I'm trying my best. I don't know why after pulling the trigger, it feels heavier. And again, new to the gun, so maybe it is operator. 100% could see that being the case. So the other thing I noticed after the reset, I can feel the slide shift a little bit on that initial take up. I just want so bad to get it. I'm just gonna let it drop. I'm determined to get this, guys. I am determined to get this. Okay. All right. There's the right there. Now it's ready to fire. There it goes. Let me try. There we go. Let me try to use more hand. There we go. Okay. Starting to understand the gun a little bit more. Yeah, the spring feels more intense. So there's just more to it. I definitely give the win on the trigger to the Smith for sure. The Tac Pro is about equivalent to the Performance Center version of this. I do want to mention that you don't get any extras with the Performance Center as far as what comes in the bag with the Tac Pro package that I picked up, which I think makes these very comparable as far as price point is concerned. 3 17-round mags, which is what we're going to jump into here in a second, and 2 21-round mags. The Performance Center gets you the upgraded with the comp and the ports and the serrations, which I think are a huge upgrade. And then the night vis sights on the front and the total blacked out on the rear. I like both. It's a draw for me on the sights as far as the irons are concerned. I feel like those are the same. All right, so let me just jump into this real quick because I think this is where the SIG really kind of pulls away for me on the Shield. All right, so the 2 mags that make these equal in length. So I'm going to show you no mag really quick. So you can see, trying to use my middle finger here to not bump my firearms together. You can see on camera that the SIG with these lined up sticks out further. All right. So using the magazines that keep them equal. So this is almost flush fit, 17-round magazine, really impressive. And then with the slight extendo grip, which is how I carry, this is the magazine that's in there the most often. You get 13 rounds with the Smith. So because I feel like the Smith is thinner here and thicker here, that's where the SIG starts to pull away, in my opinion. You have the thickness here, which allows for a wider magazine, which allows for more capacity here. And you're getting an extra 4 rounds. Sorry, I said 5. You're getting an extra 4 rounds here. And then this is where you can kind of see, let me do it this way. These are, again, both unarmed. You can see the length of the firearm with the 13 round, very close to with the 17 round. Now, what I think is really, really cool, they do offer another, and it is only slightly longer. This is the 15 round magazine here with an even longer extended grip. And to me, it is, when you look at where my pinky is landing on these, very close in length. So it is very, very close in length, carrying the 15 round mag, which now only is a 2 round difference with that extended mag, is a really nice option. I kind of wish that Smith would offer the 10, 13, and 15 all together instead of it just being the 10. Now, I do want to show you real quick because I think still the capacity to me goes to the P365. I think the concealability goes to the Shield. With the 13 round mag, I think you have more concealability. Again, thinner in profile here, and I will do this barrel, because I think that's deceptive with it being under an inch thick, because it's over an inch thick in the handle, whereas the Smith is actually thinner there, even though it's very, very close at the barrel. We're going to do that here in just a moment. But you still have more concealability. I am just hanging off with the pinky with the 13 round. The 10 round was ridiculous. The 10 round basically looked like this. So I did go get the Pierce, I forget the name, Pierce Grip extendo here. It's still 10 rounds, doesn't extend the capacity, but it does give you your place for a pinky to kind of still hit on there. So it does slim it up a little bit there. If you limit it to the 10 or want to carry the 10 to get it down even more, you can see the heel disappear. So the pinky's still there, but that's on the bottom of your concealed carry. The back, the heel is not going to print out as much. So I thought that was a really good upgrade. But I do wish that Smith would include the 15, because when you compare the 13 when they're at the same height, I feel like the Smith overall sits lower. And then 15 round, which now only has you being 2 rounds shy of where you are with the P365 macro, you're identical here. So I think it's a very comparable carry. All right, so last thing that I did want to talk about, because I think some folks are going to key in on, well, the 365 is thinner overall. Did I ever take these dummy rounds out? No, they're still in there. Ooh. Okay. This one's still in here. Yeah, dummy round's still in there. Real quick, let me grab. All right, let's make sure, okay, so they're on inches, so I am going to demonstrate really quick on camera for you. Overall, at the barrel, you are under an inch, but when you come to the thickest part of the grip, and I'm going side to side, you're at 1.14 inches at the grip, whereas on the Smith, you are, am I at the thickest part? Let me just check. I'm gonna try from the bottom. You're at exactly 1 inch all the way throughout. So you're actually thinner, in my opinion, the part that sticks out your holster where you print, than you are on the SIG macro, XMacro. I'm just going to say XMacro to save. And then on the, I probably should have done it. All right, so I'm doing it the same. All right, so up front on the slide, you're less than an inch. At the start of where the lower is, you're still under an inch, including the takedown, you're right at an inch. All right, let me see, because I don't think I did that on the SIG, and I know that they both stick out. All right, so up at the front, you are thicker on the SIG. At the middle, I think you're comparable to the Smith, and you're right at an inch with the takedown. What was it on the Smith? I already forgot. Yeah, so really comparable, but you're thinner at the handle. So I thought that was really interesting. And again, I do think they are both very comparable. Hopefully the magazine will help it sit down some. I think the dot helps the Smith sit down. So, oh, is that the 15? That's the 15. I was like, that looks long. Let me see, 15 rounds. Is that what made it equal? Yeah. So you're looking at, with the extended mag, 15 rounds versus 17 rounds. You're looking at pretty comparable barrels. I feel like very hard to notice the difference. I will be curious with the optic what that will equate to for me. Yeah, that spring is killing me. Oh, with the mag in there. The mag in there won't, you gotta drop the mag. I forgot that. That's probably what I did wrong there. I am going to be putting the Vortex Defender CCW on, and that's what I'm going to be running with this one. And I'm going to be picking out my holster and seeing where I want to go from there. But fit and finish on here. Oh, let me touch on that really quick. The fit and finish on the SIG does feel really, really good. So I feel like the coating on the barrel, we'll see how it wears. I will say the coating on the barrel, let me go ahead and just take that out. The coating on the barrel, oh, that's a little oily. Feels a little thin, doesn't feel as well applicated on the Smith. Tolerances, I would say they feel very comfortable. Now I have more time through that slide on the Smith, so that is a little bit of a difference. Feels more fluid on the Smith, but that could just mean that the SIG needs more break-in. With the, I think the comp is very comparable. The Smith might be a little bit less maybe than the SIG. 21 rounds versus 13 rounds out of the box is what we're talking about. I would say they're very, very close. I think I give the advantage of the ergos to the SIG. Check back with me in a few months after shooting with it some more, but I really like the ergos on this one. You know, it's comfortable without the magazine in it. I would say with the 13 round, which is the one I carry with, I like the extra width more so than the thickness. I love the trigger on this one much more. Slide serrations on the Performance Center, a little better on the front. On the rear, the SIG a little bit better. I like the opening here a little bit more too with the glove, even though I've not had an issue with the glove. It is a little bit tighter on there. I think the undercut is good, but I like that this one here has more of a flat spot for when I'm using my hands on there. But let me know which one you would pick. Which one do you think you would go with here out of these two? I will definitely keep you updated as I continue to do more. I think one last thing that I forgot to mention, I think there's more support in the aftermarket currently for the P365 as a whole. I don't think there's quite as much of that. I'd like to see, you know, takedowns. I think I saw where Ed Browning has like a machine ejector to get rid of some of the MIM parts too, but just not as much out there yet. Hopefully more will come, but I've used the Shield Plus for, like I said, the better part of a year, maybe more, and I love it. It has been my favorite. I like to shoot it at the range. I enjoy carrying it. I feel like it could do both. Oh, I know what I forgot to mention, the rail. I think that is a big win here. You could throw a light and make this a one and done, where I'm a little surprised you don't get that. I did upgrade my shield with the Performance Center slide. I will check in editing to see if perhaps when you buy it, it comes with the rail. That might be what I'm missing on the upgrade to mine, because I started with the more compact version because it brings the barrel way back here behind the comp. You end up back here like that, and you'll see in the shooting how much shorter it is. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, a like would be appreciated. And if you're not subscribed, definitely consider subscribing. I'd love to have you follow along as I grow the channel. And shout out down in the comments below. I think there are a lot of good options at this price point. I think folks that may be watching this may be looking for what it looks like as a comparison, maybe validating one of the other firearms sometimes is what I see as well. But if you are carrying one or switch to something else, definitely let me know down in the comments. I think others will go down there as well to see what is recommended. All right, that's it for me today. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Catch you on the next one. Goodbye.